We can swim across to find your friend.
Sorry, Gabrielle. You should never have sacrificed yourself on account of me. Trade places with me, Gabrielle. I don't belong here anymore.
Listen. Your friend's voice. We draw near. There. What is that spirit doing to the night? Quickly, we must help him.
Victory worth dedicating to Azura.
What's going on?
I wanted to tell Gabrielle that I'm sorry. She gave everything to return me to life, and... damn it! I thought I could go back to being normal. But when I heard her voice, I was overwhelmed by despair. I know. I see that now. But when I heard her voice, my heart just broke. I suddenly remembered how much I missed her. How she sacrificed herself for me. How I failed her. Yeah, I hear you. But without Meridia's powers, I feel empty. I don't know how to fill that space. I'm just an ordinary person again. Is that enough for what comes next? I hear you. No giving up. It's a struggle, but I'm a fighter. I can win this battle. It isn't often we get a second chance. I just wish it hadn't cost me a dear friend. All right. I'll help you find Vanus and stop Manamarco. For Gabrielle. I'm good. Let's go find Vanus. He's counting on us.
Quickly now. We must find your mage before the corpse stealers complete their ritual.
Flooding the chambers again will protect our remains. Now you must reach the central funerary chamber and drive the corpse stealers from this place. Hurry. The ritual nears completion, and flooded or no, once done, they will command our lifeless remains.
Shall lead us to dominate the world.
Just like old times, my friend. A worthless mage to help me raise an army and power my shadows. The awakening is nearly complete. I shall have my undead army. Destroy the interlopers!
We need to free Vanus before we get overrun.
Release your mage! Your mage is free! Finish them!
You're no match for me.
Let's sneak outside.
Zulhaj and its ancient dead are safe now. Thank you.
We did good work here. And I almost felt useful.
And you mostly were.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you for letting me help out. Since losing Gabrielle, I've been a bit lost myself.
Mortal, one last word before you depart. Thank you, warrior. You stopped the desecration of our remains and saved us from enslavement to the corpse stealers. The stone will not forget this service. It has been so long since I had the opportunity to use the courtesies of life. I am Ukaraza, the architect of Zulhaj. We built this Zanmir as a necropolis for our people. But I must deliver one last warning before I return to rest. Mor Naril, the final dark, has a new master. One who seeks to pull the Wraithforge from Cold Harbor and restore it in the Daedric Temple. You cannot defeat your foe while he commands the Wraithforge. You are not the first to face the forces of death and oblivion on this isolated island. If this new master gains full control of the Wraithforge, you will never defeat him. Now, go. Your allies have a new camp near Mor Naril. They await you there.
Mor Naril. The worms never tired of talking about the place while I was their guest. The spirit's warning coincides with what I pieced together through the things I overheard during my captivity, and what the helpful worm cult defector shared with me. Pray tell, did Bar Jasa deliver my notes to Gabrielle? What? Gabrielle? What happened? I assume it has something to do with the return of Meridia's Knight. And Bar Jasa, too. I was taken by surprise when I learned Manamarco had returned. But now I owe him for these deaths. And so many others. That explains why Manamarco's full resurrection failed, and he had to possess his servant's body. A shame about Gabrielle. She had such promise. And Bar Jasa, too. She was looking forward to reconciling with her egg sister. It's some sort of Daedric crucible created by Molag Bal to collect and utilize soul energy. It was originally part of Mor Naril here in Solstice, but Bal withdrew with it back to Cold Harbor when the Argonians defeated him long ago. Manamarco is using the Soul Reapers and Flayers to fill it, and the Plane Meld is the mechanism employed to draw it back from Cold Harbor. I assume the allies the spirit mentioned include Prince Azar? I hope he brought an army. Let's go to the camp.
The spirit mentioned a camp near Mor Naril. I assumed they would use the clearing to the southeast. We cannot keep the spirit's warning to ourselves. We must bring this news to your prince, Mainlander.
The more we hear about Mor Naril, the less I want to go there.
I had not thought such a thing capable of weathering the ravages of time. A useful find. Show me your claws.
Secure the barricades, and someone get the Great Mage something to drink. Comrade. Vonnis was just telling us the details of his long ordeal, and I am sorry to hear about Jitra's village. And her sister. One more atrocity the worm cult must be made to pay for. But I want to hear your report. What happened at Zul-Hajj? Stopping the worms from raising an army, breaking a shackle, and rescuing Vonnis? Once again, you achieve wonders where others see only impossibilities. Take a moment. Then I would hear some more about our next objective, Mor Naril, and this Wraith Forge. While you were rescuing Vonnis, I marched our advance force east. Walks and Ash was able to ascertain that no soul flayers were lying in wait, so we moved carefully and made camp here, in the shadow of Mor Naril. I fear this may be as far as we go. Our scouts mapped a path through the outer temple, but the worm cult blocked every approach to the inner precincts with soul flayers. If we storm Mor Naril, we'll fall as soon as we enter the death fields. And the Wraith Forge will claim our souls. We must find a counter to the soul flayers. A way around them, a defense, anything. Walks hasn't figured out how to foil the death magic, so she sent Razumdar to study the situation. Join him in the outer temple. See if a solution presents itself. Walks and Ash sent Razumdar into the outer temple to the south. I'll call for the rest of our forces. Then we'll hold our position until you and he find a way to bypass or overcome Mor Naril's defenses. Be swift, my friend. We must stop Mannimarco. Not much, I fear. Only what we've been able to piece together from your findings, what Vonnis uncovered while held captive, and what Jitra and Regent Corinway were able to tell us. The place is an ancient Daedric temple to Molag Bal. Of that, we are sure. Why else set the Soul Flayer death fields to protect the place? I think something inside allows them to use necromancy in unimaginable ways. The writhing walls, soul reapers, a new plane meld, they have mastered some new power. Yes, Vonnis thinks the plane meld was set in motion to retrieve the Wraith Forge from Cold Harbor, which explains the large island being drawn down toward Mor Naril. Whatever Mannimarco's ultimate goal, I suspect resurrecting his body is part of it.
Archmagister Vanus. After Gabrielle, I believe this belongs to you.
My staff. Thank you for looking after it, Walks in Ash. And I miss Gabrielle too. I have barely begun to acclimate myself with the Fellowship and adjust to the fact that Gabrielle is gone, and Mana Marco has returned. But the problems of the Soul Flayers and the Wraithforge loom, like an executioner's blade above our necks.
I sent Razumdar to examine the Soul Flayers from as close as he dares get. Perhaps his clever eyes will see something that my study of the notes and power core has not. Meanwhile, I will discuss other options with Vanus Galarian.
You and Raz be careful out there, friend. These new Soul Flayers aren't the kind of toys you want to play with.
Be careful near Mor Naril. It was a cursed place long before the Corpse Stealers came to Solstice. Soul Flayers are not the only danger in that old temple.
This wish of fresh water, it soothes me.
Greetings, Five Claw. Iraz presumes Prince Azaz sent you? This one is grateful for the assistance. These damnable soul flayers are like glass bottles full of kindle pitch. Your first misstep around them will be your last. Not yet. When someone wanders too close, they release a pulse of necrotic energy, killing the body and harvesting the soul. Ugh. Still, Raz noticed something odd. Smoke in the western part of the ruins. A camp, he thinks. Who else but the worm cult would be in this place? Perhaps the cultists are not quite finished setting up their defenses. Or maybe they are guarding something there. Either way, it calls for a closer look. What do you think, Five Claw? Here, this one will mark the spot on your map. Look for the smoke when we get close, yes? Raz is grateful for your company, Five Claw. Cultists and Daedra patrol these ruins. It is unwise to travel alone. You rescued Vanus? Nice work! Prince Azad discovered this one's usefulness as a scout and spy. While you were busy, Raz occupied himself with searching this side of the island for worm cult activity. There are low-ranking worm cultists everywhere, but few leaders or major outposts besides Gristmong Hold. Raz thinks most of the important cultists have withdrawn behind Monaril's walls. They are counting on their soul flayers to defend them. The heaviest concentration of the flayers is within the inner precinct or up on the walls. Stay alert, and you can spot them before you get too close. But we must be careful. Some flayers are hidden among the ruins or positioned around corners. Raz learned the hard way. First, a chill runs along the back of your neck. Then a horrible, racking pain ripples through your body. If you are quick, you can retreat before the flayer rips out your soul. So far, Raz has been quick. This one thinks we are not on the right path.
The potential for help or harm.
A worm cult camp, but why is it outside the walls? Letter? What does it say? If deer can slip past the Soul Flayer's death fields, then our forces can do so as well. Let us head west and see what we can learn. But be careful, Five Claw. The fault in their defenses may have already been repaired. You won't get away with this.
Even I know not to be so careless. things fade, even the infamy of our actions.
How did that deer get past the death field? And what killed this cultist? Check the body carefully. Another letter? Does it explain what happened here? The only soul flare Raz sees is above us, beyond the crack in the wall. Did this cultist walk into the death field and tumble down here? Yet if the device worked well enough to kill her, how did the deer pass by unscathed? Raz knows that statues are not always just statues, and that one does not look like it belongs here. But a stone nest warrior made of stone next to a crack in the wall of an old Daedric ruin? This one wonders. Living statues? Ah, this one walked here then. But Raz thinks it walks no longer. Still, the old magic that gave this Voskrona life must linger in some way, and it interferes with the soul flayers. There must be some way we can use this. Raz remains unsure. The deer survived, yes. The cultist did not. The statue's protection may be limited in range, or unreliable. And unless there is a line of such statues leading into the temple, our forces cannot advance past this spot. Raz thinks so too. We need to learn more about this statue. Our Stone Nest allies must know something. It certainly appears to be one of theirs, yes? Return to camp and ask Jitra about it. Raz will follow soon, after a bit more scouting.
An inspired find, Tamid. What use is treasure if it stays sealed away? Pizza! stopping here? It seems a fine place to take in the sights. Kenarthi's blessings upon this find.
I warn you, if you are one of those death cultists or a bandit come to rob me, you will not be the first to fail in such an endeavor. This hermit knows how to take care of herself. Ah, my stone soup from Zorhist. I do appreciate the meals they send me. Even this old hermit sometimes misses the comforts of the village. They always send more than enough. If you prepare it, I will happily share a meal with you. Yes, that would be nice. I move much slower these days, more suited to stillness now, like the stone. But I would enjoy sharing a meal with a visitor. It doesn't take long to prepare. Put the cook pot in the fire and remove it before it burns. Ah, thank you, stranger. The nourishing experience of stone soup is always better when shared with pleasant company. Take your time. Hecicla will wait and commune with the ground beneath our feet. Hecicla's old limbs do not bend like they used to. Please, put the cookpot on the fire, and soon we can both enjoy the stone soup. No one is truly alone when they can hear the stone's encompassing song. But I do enjoy it when Zorhist sends a courier with a meal and news of the village. I am safe enough, stranger. The corpse robbers came by once, but I showed them that the stone protects its people. I've not been bothered since. Now about that stone soup.
Stone soup. My favorite. My mouth waters just thinking about it. Pass me a bowl of that delicious meal, please. Excellent. It smells delicious. Please let us savor the meal and enjoy the company. You have done more than enough for old hecicla. I will be fine. Thank you for making the delivery for young Wulin Kerr. He would have never made it past the cultists. Now please, take this. It is time for this old hermit to return to her solitude. If you have time, sit. Share a meal with me. The stone soup tastes wonderful. Thank you for stopping by. The soup was delicious. And tell young Wulin Kerr I hope he comes to visit me one day. I suppose he just needs to grow a few more spines on his tail. Or maybe get one of the death dancers to accompany him. You saw the stone that surrounds my home? All raw and exposed? It makes the Zon Niav easier to hear. Especially when you sit in stillness, away from the bustle of village life. Surely you feel the call of the stone in this serene place. Perhaps it is too much to hope for smooth skins to experience such mysteries. Never mind. Just promise old hecicla that when she becomes stone, you will try to listen again.
Zithrabar.
I can plainly see a question upon your tongue, mainlander. I prepared my villagers and Barjossa for interment in the stone, but it was clear they were incomplete. Hollow. Damn the corpse stealers for taking their souls. But you did not come to hear me complain, did you? Speak your question. Ah, the Voskrona Colossals. My ancestors sent them against Morn-Narill in the distant past. I thought nothing remained of those statues but the unliving stone. You remind me that this is not the first time we face necrotic enemies who steal souls. Long ago, my people were called upon to battle a terrible evil in Morn-Narill. They made the Voskrona for that purpose. Down through the ages, evil has returned from time to time. Most recently, when the Corellanias came to plunder Morn-Narill's secrets. You ask about old stories, tales for kin fresh out of the egg. I cannot say how many are true. This is a question for a wise elder. Luckily, I know one. Meet me in the caves at Basking Stone to the southwest. We will find Sonasa there. Sonasa has taken refuge in the hills to the southwest. The caves of Basking Stone have protected my people in the past. Although, it has been centuries since we needed them as we do now. Hopefully, the Elder will have the answers you seek. You ask of things I was not taught as a death dancer. I assume many of the Voskrona around Morn-Narill were damaged or destroyed in battle. I suspect any intact Colossals are simply inert, having fulfilled their purpose long ago. Who knows? All I can tell you is that Voskrona do not stir without a purpose. If these Voskrona are still, no purpose remains to move them. Perhaps they simply completed whatever they were sent to Morn-Narill to do long ago. Long ago? Hundreds of years? Thousands? My people do not bother to count the seasons as others do. How do you sit by the river and count the stones along its bank? I suppose you would say it happened sometime in the First Era? Power. What else? The Corellanias who first came here were necromancers. They sought Daedric relics, hidden secrets, forbidden weapons. My people told them to avoid Morn-Narill, but the elves were driven by dark ambitions. They ignored our warnings. Our stories tell of how the Stone Nest people fought back. Our elders know those tales better than I do, but I've heard that, in the end, the Corellania's ambitions consumed them. Those who live in Sunport now are a lesser but wiser house.
An interesting development, comrade. Go with Jitra. Speak to this elder. Perhaps we will actually find an answer in the old tales of the Stone Nest people.
The work never ends, and neither do the raids.
Ah, Walker. General Zasimba was worried our siege camps... Please tell me you've come bearing the fruits of your labor, and not a moment too soon.
The plane roll is finally over. Does this mean we can go home now?
I wonder which spirit bestows such fortune upon you.